FlamesNation Citizens, what is up? I'm Michela, Sheedy.
I'm Lyle Peterman.
And we have a very special guest, somebody very close to my heart, and the voice of Calgary, I want to say, Mr. Jason Tate in the hot seat.
Hello.
It's a voice you might recognize, eh?
Yeah, maybe a little bit, right?
Especially the last 10 days.
Yeah, he has been your host with the most at the Nashville North stage, and you've been doing that for the past 15 years.
It feels like an eternity. 15 years in dog years is how you measure how many Budweisers I've had in my liver.
Well, we love hearing you up there, and also you are one of the voices of the Calgary Stampeders.
Yeah,
so
it's been awesome being able to stand on that field.
And how long have you been doing the Stampeders for?
Just
again?
a couple of years.
Just a couple of years?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, you do an excellent job, and I'm so thankful that you are here for our Stampede Hangover episode, which I think we're all feeling it a little bit.
Well, I was yesterday, but to be honest, today it's like it never happened.
Really?
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Back to regular life.
It's amazing. It's like a 10-day or a 2-month setup. It feels like in a 1-day takedown. He was looking at Stampede Park today. It's like gone.
Well, even like walking out of the park because we stayed late on Sunday night, and me and my sister were walking out.
How late
did
you stay Sunday night?
Not too late,
Okay.
honestly. I'll tell you this: like, I didn't party not once this Stampede because I was too busy.
I saw you Sunday, and you're like, I'm gonna go backstage and work now.
Yeah, I brought my computer.
Yeah,
I was like, I got some stuff to do. Like,
I watched you do it. I'm
Yeah.
like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm like, life goes on, which I mean, but I think the Stampede Hangover, I mean, for a lot of people, it is about the actual hangover. And then it's just your whole body is generally fatigued because those 10 days are nuts. Like I remember talking to somebody and it's like, I don't know any other festival or situation that goes 10 days straight. So it's a doozy and we're on the other side of it. So
for me, we live right in the area across the street from Stampede. So it's just that next day when like the city's still regular busy, but not Stampede busy, it feels dead.
Oh, it's palpable.
Yeah.
You can feel it like you can touch it.
Energy's gone.
Oof.
When you don't feel the heavy bass of all the tents going on in the city,
competing bass lines in
I
different
remember
parts.
Well, Drew Gregory said this to me the other night. He goes, it's like you've been pushing up against a wall for 10 days, and then when that sound is gone, you kind of get like a bit of vertigo, and you're like, oh, what's this? Yeah,
I go to bed every night still the last couple of nights, and I put music on, or else the silence is deafening.
Yeah,
I got to crawl into bed and have something.
Yeah, it's wild. So maybe we should start off about like, how did you feel this Stampede was in terms of your time at the Nashville North stage? Bigger, better, same as previous years? Like anything that stood out to you?
Well, I think there was a big reset with COVID, and then
you
kind of saw it creep back over the past couple of years. I think that this year was probably the best year that I can recall in my 15 years being there, and that includes the 100th anniversary celebration, which was huge. I had a ton of fun doing that.
Yeah.
But no, this year the crowds were great. The lineup, the talent that's on that stage, the people that get to work with, it was unbelievable.
Yeah, no, it was definitely, I felt like it was a really tightly run ship this year. Like, not to say that previous years weren't tightly run, but it's like it felt like there were less hiccups, less like, little things going on. I mean, like things that we can't control, obviously, like the weather.
Oh, Mother Nature.
At one point, Devin was called off for lightning.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, and that the thing is I've come to expect some sort of flash flood.
Yeah, it's fair.
Every year, which is crazy. But like, yeah, I don't know. It seemed like a real tight ship this year, which was nice from kind of like the behind the scenes perspective. I don't know what it was like for your average yeehaw party goer.
I was a yeehaw party goer, front row half the time.
We Yahoo in Calgary. We're going to correct this right now.
You're right. We Yahoo.
We Yahoo.
We Yahoo. You're correct.
All right, Yahoo party goer. Tell me more though.
Or ooh hey.
Ooh hey, if you get up in the backside.
Yeah.
Yeah, we stood front row, right in front of those big bass things that just move through your body, the big subs. But I do have a question. How did you get involved in that? Like, what made you the host and now the voice of Nashville North?
15 years ago, Dan Finley and Rod came up to me, and I had a history of doing some voice work and working in clubs and things like that many moons ago, before I started a family and thought that was going to be where I went. And they came to me and said, hey, you want to stand on a stage for 10 days? And I went, okay, fine. And so
You're like, that doesn't suck.
I'm like, all right, I can do this. I've done it before. And so that's where it was. And that's really how it got started. And I honestly thought that it was just going to be a 1-year thing. And then it turned out to be everything that I wanted for a 10-day festival, and everything that I could still enjoy that part of my life.
Yeah.
And are you there from like the first act to the end?
Yeah, I get there at about noon every day and go home at about 3 a.m. every day. So
holy, and how does your wife put up with that?
I'm not married.
Oh,
he's a
there you
single
go.
man.
I'm a single man.
Well,
Ladies, Jason Tate.
There we go.
He's a
Oh, this could be a dating
single
profile.
man.
There we go. Watch out.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, I couldn't picture Nashville North without you. I really couldn't. Like, it's just one of those things where I we know so many people who do similar things to what you do and to what you do, and it's like I have a hard time picturing somebody else ever filling Jason Tate's shoes on the Nashville North stage. But please stay for forever.
I have no intention of going anywhere at this point in time.
You've got such a demanding voice.
Yeah.
So you'll have all the women will be jumping around to YMCA, and then all of a sudden, like, your voice interrupts that.
Yeah.
And brings out the musical act, which is important. If not, these tents, I think, could quickly get away from some of the music and just become a shit show.
Oh yeah.
And that's the important thing. I think that stage, and what I love about that stage the most, is that we've stuck to what, for lack of a better term, I'm going to call a cabaret feel, where the DJ's there, and yes, they're an important mix. But there are several thousand people there to see live music.
Yeah.
And that's the important thing for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a DJ or a voice needs to kind of bring that all back into
and like
focus.
when Jason says jump on that mic, everybody says how high, and it's awesome. But yeah. Well, there was clearly a lot that was happening in the city and at Stampede this week, but maybe one of the most shocking
oh boy,
things was, I don't know who the man was, but he was a thirsty man.
Ugh.
And he found a source of liquid in a place that was a little bit gut churning for people. I just hope that whoever the guy is who drank the horse piss had a good stampede and he made it through the 10 days. That's all. Yahoo, buddy. Do what you want to do, but
I don't know if you know this about me, but my background before real estate and PA work was horses.
Oh God,
I was a show jumper.
No.
And I've had to do the thing where for drug testing and stuff, where you have to stand with your horse and with a cup waiting to catch it, not to drink it, but to do the test. And a equine Canada person stands with you, and horse piss smells. It's not great. I can't imagine drinking it. And I saw that video and it was instantly repulsed.
Oh yeah. Well, what was like baffling me is that the cop was just like, well, I guess we're just gonna let this happen. Like,
the cop looked stunned.
What's he supposed to do?
Is that illegal?
I guess not.
I guess not. Like, was he technically doing anything wrong?
Well, I don't think you're supposed to approach a police horse because they are a working animal. So maybe that.
I'll review the video later, but I don't think he actually made physical contact with that horse. It was just an underneath situation.
And what goes through your mind? You see a horse pissing on Stephen Avenue. What goes through your mind? You're like, thirsty.
Yummy. Oh my gosh. Well, and then there was the kids I say kids because I feel very old. The young adults in the tent that whenever there was, a bit of a rain situation and puddles on the ground, they were hydrating from the puddles as well.
And sometimes those puddles are not any water from the rain that's happening.
Yeah.
So you've been in the tents for 15 years.
Yep.
Would you recommend drinking the puddle water?
I would recommend neither of those. I can only imagine how warm the urine was, by the way, too. That's the first thing that went through my head was the temperature.
Yeah.
Gross. And no, I've seen what's inside of the puddle on the asphalt, and no, there's no way I would put no.
Yeah.
Oh,
and that was not just one person, by the way, in that trend.
Multiple.
I saw that multiple places.
Kids these days, man.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But it is true that the whole city goes a little bit feral for 10 days. The best way that I can describe it, I was driving home from a gig, and it felt like, when you play like GTA 5 and you see like all these like video game characters and they're like walking around kind of like zombies. That's what it feels like.
I'm also going to make a bet that
Oh,
the
yeah?
people drinking the puddle water and the horse piss were potentially not Calgarians.
Really? Okay,
'Cause
that's fair.
30% roughly is the number they predict come from outside of Calgary for visitor wise, and
Yeah.
they're on vacation to cut loose. And I would just bet that maybe they were outsiders. I don't know. I know any Calgarian I've ever met would not do either of those two things.
I saw this one girl, God bless her. She it was a nice group of cowgirls walking home from the tent, and at first I saw her try to use all of her yeehaw strength to knock down a tree. And it was a pliable tree, so like a nice a thinner trunk to it, but she tried to pull down a whole tree, and then there was a street sign that was knocked down on the sidewalk, and she hoisted that thing up and started chasing her friends with it and trying to like javelin them. And I see this girl running across a crosswalk with a street sign. I was like, wow. We truly do need to buckle up during the 10 days of Stampede.
Can I tell a really quick story
Mhm.
on the street sign thing? And this actually wasn't in Calgary; it was in Olds, my hometown.
Yeah.
And there's an Oldstoberfest rodeo that happens there.
I've
And it
played
was,
that before.
Have you?
Yep.
So it was the Saturday after Oldstoberfest, or during Oldstoberfest, and I'm driving home, and I just about get sideswiped in a three-way stop sign. I stopped and went going. The guy just came straight through. And so I come home, my heart's beating, and I'm like, where the F is that stop sign? Open my garage door, and it's in my garage. It was my roommate stole it.
No.
Yeah. So I was like, I was ready to call the police and report this missing stop sign. I'm like, I should just not. So
You're like, oh, we're gonna just take a pause
anyways,
here.
it was just what was me that got the brunt end of it.
Yeah.
But
What are some of the wackiest things that you've seen from that bird's eye view of the Nashville North tent? Where you don't need to say all of them, but some of the more creative ones, I guess.
I don't know if I can think anything off the top of my head, because it really is super extremes, right? You have a bunch of people standing against the barricade that really are just there for live music. And then you have a bunch of lunatics that are around bouncing up and down and doing all sorts of disgusting things and drinking whatever they can, not just the water, right? And out of whatever vessel they can find to drink out of.
Well, yeah, you got the boots, you got the hat
hats,
luge.
Yeah.
I don't know if on Sunday, did anyone notice the one guy that was just drugged out on something wandering on the dance floor? It was empty right before before Mariah Stokes set.
I didn't see
he was having conversations with absolutely no one, and his friends were just killing themselves laughing because they probably gave him whatever he was on.
Oh man,
he was friendly enough, but he was out of it for noon.
Well, I think that it's safe to say we all need a bit of a Stampede detox in the next week, and then we can get back to our regularly scheduled programming in the city.
Did you have the full IV treatment on Monday?
I did. I had an IV treatment
Did you?
at Drip Wellness Group, and it definitely left me feeling refreshed.
Would you recommend that?
I would, yeah. It was cool. It was also nice to just be in a quiet room by myself with nothing else but my thoughts for like about an hour. I brought my computer, did some work. Like
you work too much, girl.
I know, I do, but we also had some hockey players make a couple appearances.
Yeah, there were some sightings, eh? Did you see any NHL players through Nashville North?
No, not this year. Not that I noticed. No, they usually come through.
Yeah. A few of the ones I noticed that Blake Coleman showed up with a full tuxedo jort combination.
I love a good jort.
Yeah, we'll talk fashion in a second here, but he took his 5 buddies. It was a bachelor party, and he quoted as a top 5 experience in his life, Stampede for 5 days. So that's saying something.
That's good.
Yeah, that's great.
You know, that's I'm sure as an NHL player with millions of dollars to spend,
rocking some jorts.
Yeah, so jorts were back.
Jorts and boots, or was did you wear sneakers?
Jorts and boots. Yeah,
man.
I've seen it's a meme, I think, but it's like jorts and jutes, jean boots.
Jutes.
Gonna rock my jutes.
Yeah,
I'm okay with the jorts. It's when they get really short and then they're like almost panties. So I call them
the jean thong.
Janties.
Janties.
That's good too.
The cheeks are always out.
Very cheeky.
Yeah. I don't know what was the level of the jorts?
I hope Blake wasn't wearing
above the knee.
Above the knee.
Yeah. And they all, you know what? I give them compliments for matching. The 5 guys had a very uniform look.
That's good.
And
I do love that. We also PK Subban.
I saw him live in person. He
Woo-hoo.
was and oh my God, I don't know his name. Oh, Andre Rush. You guys seen him before?
Mm-mm.
He's a chef on the Cooking Network, and he's this big guy with these giant arms. The arms the size of both my legs. I'll show you a picture after.
I'm getting hot and bothered over here.
Yeah, he's your type, if you know what I mean. If you know what I mean. And so he was judging it, he was the host chef of this cooking competition in Cowboys, but PK Subban was one of the celebrity judges.
I saw that he was dressed up as a security guard at some point.
I only saw him as a celebrity judge eating meat.
He was doing the thing. I think it's really cool how we're like involving all of our local celebrities and even from out of town.
Yeah, I was like, he's not local to me at all, but
like, you know, like we've got like all of our like Flames making an appearance at Stampede, which is really nice to see, because they could be vacationing in Italy with their wives.
They could be. It's nice they make the effort to come back and see the city at its finest, I would say.
It's been like that over the years, though. I can count, countless times.
Yeah.
When you see them walk through, they come up on stage, they say hi. They've always been great supporters of everything that's going on in the city that 10 days.
Well, it speaks to the Calgary like culture. You know what I mean? Like it is vibrant. It is there, and it's like, some people will knock it and say like, oh, Calgary and Alberta is known for,
those people suck.
There are some good things about being a cowboy or a cowgirl. It can be really fun. Like
I'll talk about that in a bit too. I've got some people who came to town and were thrilled by the Stampede from Toronto and Vancouver, and like culturally they were like, I was transported into a different world.
Well, you are.
Yeah.
Even Calgarians are. But it is, I agree with the Western hospitality and the Western values that kind of come out through even stronger during those 10 days, which just focuses all of the stuff that's happening all year round. You get 10 days of this intensity of it.
Oh, it's intense. All right. Oh my gosh. Like,
and if you just witnessed Calgary at that, I'd want to move here personally. If I was just here for a vacation, I'd be like, this city is amazing. Did anyone watch the Well, you probably didn't because you were working the entire time, but the grandstand show this year.
I didn't even get to watch it.
I've watched every one in the last 15 years. It was like hands by far the best I've ever seen.
Everybody has said that.
I saw it 4 times.
That's
4 times.
Everybody's review is it was unbelievable. The Latin thing that they had going on, everything else was unbelievable. I got to see the drones because as I walk out backstage, I can see the drones and the fireworks.
The drones were cool.
I don't get to see the whole show.
I'm so sad I missed it this year.
It was for the people we brought from Toronto and Vancouver, they had their phones out the entire time and they were texting their wives and husbands at home going, oh my God, what is this? This is Vegas show. And they were just amazed by just how multicultural it was, how it was extremely like captivating for how do you capture a show for an hour and a half, someone's attention. And it was like, you couldn't look away.
That's amazing.
So props to the young Canadians and everyone involved there.
Everybody who produces that show. It is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I heard that. And the other big, the number 2 that everybody said that I had guests walk through was the relay.
Oh,
watching those Cowboys and
Indigenous
relay races. I'll call them Cowboys because you got to be cowboy to ride like that, bareback and do that. Boy,
those are flipping awesome,
unbelievable.
Yeah,
it like the one video that's been going viral of like the horse bucking and Buddy just hangs on and lets his body fling up onto the horse, and it's like, listen. I've seen bull riders, I've seen bronc riders, but that is very different.
Those Indigenous Cowboys are, that's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Incredible. Yep. Like, and I think, like, I mean, everybody gets really riled up for the Chucks, but like, ever since they introduced that portion of the night, wow.
Right.
Wow. Like, it's amazing, and people get riled up.
It's a great way to bring the energy back up before the grandstand show, too, because you just had the Chuck finale. Could be a little bit letdown, right? Everyone wants to get a drink, whatever, but that's amazing.
Yeah.
They also did women races too for the first time this year. So that started it off, and then 2 heats of the Indigenous relay race. And oh my gosh, what's his name? Something Big Tobacco. He was in the last race. I think his name was Jeremy Big Tobacco.
Okay.
I can't think of his first name.
Yeah.
He like a come from behind thriller in the final race. Through his 2 exchanges were flawless.
That's it's crazy watching that. And also I love their outfits. I love all the colors. I love it's also like the danger and thrill factor to it is also there. Cause like, bareback is no joke. All these other guys got we could make the jokes,
No,
but
there's lots of jokes there. I stopped.
we're all just giggling to ourselves over here.
I don't know where you're going with that at all.
Not at all?
Nope.
Okay.
Just kidding. Other NHL sightings. Uyghur was caught looking fine in a cowboy hat.
Hell yeah.
His first Stampede, which I just think is great because he's buying into the culture of the rebuild, and that's great.
Yep.
Another reason to say that Calgary's awesome and that players want to be here. So that's always good. I think. And then Dustin Wolf was spotted at
he?
Badlands having a great time.
Oh,
that little cutie.
Oh yeah, good for him.
Badlands looked. I didn't go because it's not my thing. But it
I
looked
went there
crazy.
for the first time. This year.
Hook, the photos I saw.
The way the tent is set up. So I actually, up until this year, I had never stepped foot in any other tent before besides Nashville North.
Yeah.
Because I was maybe a bit of a snob about it. I was like, I like Nashville North and that's all I need. But I went to see Lee Bryce at the Badlands tent, and wow, the production value in that tent, the lights, the art installations, the photo opportunities for all these cow patty baddies out here looking to take them Instagram selfies. There was a lot going on.
Let's be honest, though. Like, you have to have light production when your main acts are DJs.
Oh, yeah.
Because
for sure.
The crowd coming that night isn't drinking beer.
No. Well,
I was gonna say that.
Well,
you never know.
A lot of water.
But it is fun to watch, like, the videos, to watch cowboy hats all raving to like Dead Mouse and stuff like that.
And like Skrillex and stuff. And I do think it's funny because where else on this planet will you see people at essentially a rave, but all in cowboy hats?
Hands down, the only place I can think of.
It's such a weird like culture clash, but I love it. And like, yeah, Badlands tent was really cool and like really fun. I was pleasantly surprised.
I think of all the tents I went to this year, probably the least I liked was Cowboys.
Well, that's another
I'm just
topic.
saying, like, in terms of for like overall experience, for bathrooms, for just getting around. And I wasn't there when it was busy. We were there for oh my god, Nelly Furtado. Yes.
Oh, I do love Nelly Furtado.
But that was probably my least favorite tent, I would say, of all the setups this year.
There is a pecking order with the tents, and there are positives and negatives to each one of them, but they do kind of grab the city by the balls with their headliners sometimes.
Okay, and one more NHL sighting on this one was Cale Makar with Kadri.
Yes.
And they looked like all smiles all night, having a great time, which started some Twitter rumors that maybe Kadri's job now is to convince Cale Makar to come to Calgary after his contract's done in Colorado, which I fully support. Hometown boy.
Bring him.
He'll come back right in time for the new arena, hopefully.
Screw it. We're doing a rebuild anyways. So, like, open the gates.
He would be beloved here.
Yeah.
Like, he's loved in Colorado.
I think they love him down there.
But that's I'm going for that. Cale Makar, I think it's 2027 is when he's up. So
is that it?
Interesting.
So that's the biggest rumor that came out of that one. But they were having a lot of fun. And they were caught on many photos and many selfies. So
that's awesome. I love that. See, it's like, what other time of the year would you actually see everybody out like that?
Back to Nashville North. Who was your standout or some of the standout acts that you witnessed or heard?
Oh my God. So they're all outstanding, but hands down, Mariah Stokes is one of my favorite human beings, and her energy that she brings, given the slots that she's working and performing, peeling people off the top of that tent. It was unbelievable.
And did she look fine in that all white outfit there on Sunday?
She does have great style.
Yep. But they're all terrific. And of the headliners, I'm a huge fan of Jess. So Moskaluk can come and I'd listen to her sing the phone book. Oh, they don't make those anymore. I'd listen to her sing the dictionary.
Yeah, Elle King.
Oh,
Wow.
I like her.
Wow.
Fun.
Didn't see her though.
She's so cool. Like,
Best thing that just happened there?
yeah.
3 females.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the interesting thing. There was one day that we only had one male act on that stage, which is kind of cool. That shows the power of how women country artists can rock and own a stage, which has predominantly been owned by men historically.
Yeah.
And we even talk about that when we were talking about who's going to stand on that stage and grumble into a microphone.
Yeah.
And I think that potentially it could be, in 20 years' time when I retire,
Yeah.
a female that does it.
Totally. Yeah. You know what? And Stampede Entertainment is out here doing the Lord's work, putting
Amen.
putting Canadian acts on the stage, also bringing amazing, international acts to the stage. And big shout out to all of our local people who hit the stage and any stage this Stampede.
Drew,
like Drew Foxworthy,
Cole,
Foxworthy.
Devin,
Tristan.
Tristan Horncastle,
Foxworthy.
all the way from out east.
Yeah. No, like all of them, just incredible.
Serious talent. And the finest cut of human being ever on the face of this are all of those people I just mentioned.
Totally. Yeah. And Julia Voss made an appearance with Drew Gregory,
too,
and she was singing some anthems. I was also singing some anthems. There's just so many people involved, and it's so nice to it's like a big family reunion every year, right?
Yeah.
All these amazing Canadian acts and beyond flock to our city, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I could just get to hug everybody, and it feels so nice. Like,
we call it summer camp. We go to summer camp for 11 days every year.
Yeah.
And that's when all our friends come and meet us, and we get to hang out and sit at picnic tables and drink our body weight in Budweiser.
Yeah.
People ask us like, any summer plans? We're like, no, we're going to stay here until Stampede's over because people pay thousands of dollars to be in our city.
Yes.
Why would we not stay around for that?
Yeah. Well, like my family is in the process of building a house in Kelowna, and with the back and forth between Alberta and BC, they're saying that, I thought that Kelowna would be a lot busier, like in the early summer months. Apparently it's not.
It's because all the Albertans are here.
All the Albertans are going to run there in August, which is when I used to go, and I will be there in August. So
that's fair. It's great to see Kiki as well. She made the trip
my
into town.
Sister.
She looked good. She was rocking some.
Oh yeah, she was having a good time, and you're totally right. Big old family reunion. It's like summer camp. We're having a blast. But man, that sleep that I had on Monday was sent from the heavens. I was like, I slept like a rock.
Yeah, I didn't. I just woke up ready to go Monday. I don't know.
Me too. Sucked.
It's tough to turn it off, right? You kind of 11 days. And we say 11 days because truly this year, Thursday was a full day for us.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and people were saying to me all the time, because I was like posting about, day 1, day 2, day 3. They're like, nope, it's actually day 4, not day 5. I was like, come on, dude. Stampede technically starts for me on like Canada Day. So
yeah. Well, they were calling like in the Stampede stuff, the day 0 was Sneak a Peek Day.
Yeah.
Based on the scripts and everything. And that's good. I like that. Day 0.
Yeah.
To day 10.
Yeah. No, it's been a long haul, but we're on the other side of it. And we've also got so Kipper's off though.
Oh yeah, Kipper. I love Kipper, by the way. I've
too.
Personally met him twice.
Really?
Yeah.
I have not had the pleasure of meeting him yet, but I would love to one day.
He's very quiet. He won't say much to you.
See, I always assumed that he was a bit of a personality, but maybe that's just because of what I saw with him on the ice.
Yeah, I don't think he still doesn't speak that much English. I don't think it's not comfortable as English. Super nice guy. He'll make time for you. Like I saw him at the Okotoks Hockey Arena and walked over to him and talked to him for 10 minutes probably.
Oh, that's nice. I love that.
As a young gaffer. Retiring his jersey. Number 34 is going to the rafters. And Calgary does not retire many jerseys. This is the 3rd, I believe. 3rd or 4th.
Well, I remember with the Gidlas, that was
we have that dumb forever flame. Not dumb, sorry. We have that forever flame thing. It's a controversy among the sports world because we don't commit to retiring the player.
Yeah.
We just say, they're forever a flame, and they get a banner. But to me, hockey has always been you retire the number is the biggest honor you can bestow.
Yeah.
And we do it very rarely. So I think the only other goaltender is
Mikey Vernon.
Mike Vernon, yeah. Former Calgary Canuck. Shout out to the Canucks again. I'm just saying. So yeah, they have a date for that too. Do you know it?
No, I don't. What
Okay.
is it?
I thought I read
don't-
March 2nd.
I think you're right. Yeah,
Okay.
it's on my notes to book that game to be at, but
Well, keep your eyes peeled.
that'll be a fun
A
one.
huge one. And it's a great honor. And
Yeah.
I'm glad that they're hanging that jersey up.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. We've got like, I don't know, like I remember before Stampede, we were all feeling a little, well, I was feeling a little uneasy about like the future of our upcoming season. But now that we're kind of through it and things are getting a bit more sorted and we're hearing a bit more like positive rumors from what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
It's like it's shaping up a little bit better.
We've talked about this, right? But if you're gonna, the fans have been crying for a rebuild.
Yes.
So if you're gonna rebuild, it's gonna come with losing some players. The latest one, Michael Backlund, it was like an article in Swedish that is translated to Twitter that says he's not gonna re-sign after this year. So who knows what that's worth? But that's created the Twitter comments. But I'm kind of at the point where you can't blame these older guys. They see the writing on the wall. We are switching directions. We're rebuilding. We're literally going to rebuild a new arena, hopefully. All going to line up much like Edmonton did, right? Where it's like that 3-year build up. You can't hang on to the past during that. You've kind of got to switch gears.
Yeah.
And if you're at that age or that stage of your career, you're going to want to find somewhere that's ready to win tomorrow, not in 3 years from now. And if you want, go.
Win today. Let's win today. And
I think we're going to play some exciting young hockey, but I don't think we're ready to win today.
Damn it.
I'm just saying.
I don't know. I hope you're wrong.
I hope I'm wrong
I hope
too.
you're wrong. Yeah.
I hope it's just good, exciting hockey, because that was my biggest complaint last year. Is there were so many games that you just left going, that was boring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1 goal games, overtime losses, but they weren't thrilling. Which was, I like that young gun mentality where it's like they can always come back. They're always trying.
Well, yeah, there's always something to prove, right?
Yeah.
Well, we saw it with like even when Dustin Wolf got pulled up to play in a Flames game, and like he was hungry. I saw all of his pregame stuff, and I was like, I love that attitude. I have that attitude with a lot of things in my life. It's like, you know what, I'm hungry for it. I'm gonna chase it. I'm gonna be my absolute best.
Yeah.
And as much as like, no matter how long you've been in an industry or in a sport, and you may feel jaded a time or two, it's like you should never lose that hunger for being your best.
And I'll say this, I watched Dustin Wolf every game for the Wranglers this season. That was the shakiest I've ever seen him, was the NHL game.
Well, the nerves,
but his team stepped up around him like crazy, and they got him that win.
Yeah.
And that team never stepped up once in front of Markstrom this year.
That game was for him for sure.
Yeah.
It really was. Are we going to see you at some hockey games this season?
Yeah. I actually split a season 3 seats. So I got a half quarter of season.
Perfect.
Half.
I love
What
that.
section are you in?
221.
We're in 224.
Well, I'll come say
Pretty
hi.
much
We'll have more
neighbors.
beers.
Yeah.
Come to a Wranglers game too.
Also,
I have been to a few now.
Oh,
keep
perfect.
coming. Yeah.
partying at a Roughnecks game with Jason Tate
Ooh.
is an experience.
I got 6 seats for that. That is my favorite game on earth.
And my first Roughnecks game was with you, and it was very, very, very fun. I think I almost got into a fight that night.
Wouldn't surprise me.
With locals or visiting fans, or like who are you fighting with?
I think the way that it went was we went to the Unicorn afterwards to see Foxworthy.
Foxworthy was there, yeah.
Yeah, to see Foxworthy play, and they were giving away some jerseys, and there was some guy who's chirping about Flames jerseys and blah blah blah, and me, having a couple beveraginos in me, was like, don't mess with my team, and then he started chirping me, and I didn't like that either. And then we had like a big group of people around us, and it was good. So
it ended up. It ended okay.
Yeah, not an actual fight, but just a spat of words, so to say.
Well, that's
A night out with Michela and Jason Tate is a wild one.
I would like to be a part of that one.
Anytime.
You're always welcome.
Before we wrap up Flames news, Michael Stone has announced his retirement. So congratulations to Michael Stone. 228 games as a Calgary Flame in
It's
his
a big
career.
career.
It is. He was never anything flashy, but he was like a consistent guy that always put a good product on the ice, I thought.
Oh, for sure. I think so too. And I mean,
he won't go down. I don't think they're retiring his number anytime soon.
I don't think so, but he will always be remembered as one of those rock solid stones
Yeah,
in the Flames organization.
Yeah.
absolutely. You
I
never
agree.
know with the way it's going. Maybe he'll come back
He
in
could.
the front office, or you seem to be doing that now.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows?
It's possible.
The ever-changing nature. I'm a person of habit, and I like things to stay the same. And I'm now realizing that is not the case in any of my
And
professions.
it's not going to be the case for the next few years here. So
I know. I know.
But I get what you're saying. It's
I
tough.
just get so attached.
I found that really hard at the Wranglers because like you want the purpose is for the players to move on and get called up, but then you're sad because they're losing. You're watching them and you're losing them for a bit.
Yeah.
So it was really hard to be like, I'm excited for you, but I want you to stay here for the whole season.
But I like you more.
I'm feeling the same with Dustin Wolf. I want him to play full time, but I also would love him to be a starter next year in the AHL again.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I mean, it's gonna be it'll be a good season. I'm just gonna keep telling myself that. Exciting hockey.
It'll be exciting. I guarantee
wins, great team, great mentality. Let's just put that out into the universe now.
And I think the crowd will get behind the future and the young players, which is, it's better to watch that, and they're going to be competing every night, and I think you'll see that too.
We saw that in the past here in Calgary. So we got Young Guns redo now, or Redux, depending on how you want to call it. But yeah, they did get behind him.
Yeah, it was exciting hockey.
It was really exciting hockey. Yep.
Yeah, no, it's going to be good. And then we still got some stuff going on with the Stamps, right?
Yeah, let's shift to CFL.
Let's talk.
I'm a second generation ticket holder. You're a ticket holder, and now announcer. Sideline announcer. Is that what
sideline?
It's called?
Yeah, a sideline host, sideline announcer, whatever you want to call it. Yep.
So let's start there. How did that opportunity come up?
Same kind of way.
Yeah.
Standing on a stage at Nashville North, and Jordy and the guy at CSAC came over and said, "Hey, do you want to stand on the field now?" And I went, "Okay,
sure,
sure,
why not? I can do that." They just said no Budweiser this time. That was really the only condition, and went out there and started to have a lot of fun. I've been a season ticket holder for second generation too, like yourself. So it was nice to now be able to sit there and watch from a different angle.
Did you have a hard time going from being able to just enjoy the game to having to work every night?
The first season, yes.
Okay.
Now I know where to pick my spots and I can actually watch the game. First season, I'm nervous. I want to make sure that I hit all my posts and I got to do all those things right. Now I can watch the game and enjoy it.
In your blood now.
I'm there. Yeah.
Okay. Here's a question for you. This might be a tough one. What is the answer to bringing the CFL back to the excitement we used to once know, where it was 25 to 30,000 every night, and Calgary was a real hard crowd to play in front of?
Yeah. When you had to stand in front of 37,000 people, which McMahon hold, and it was regularly selling out in the late 80s and early 90s, nobody wanted to play in that stadium. You're absolutely right. And I think that a couple of things have happened. One, we've got a bunch of other sports entertainment that is taking some dollars away from people. And it when you got to pick and choose, it's unfortunate that, the Stamps are the ones that aren't always being the ones that are being picked. And the next thing is I think that there's some work to do up at the stadium from generating a different type of entertainment. And I don't think that's a Stamps thing. I think it's potentially a VC or McMahon Stadium Society. So there's got to be some investment there.
Our stadium she's an old girl.
Okay, but I've defended our stadium in past.
I like the stadium, and I think you can work it.
It's the best sight line, period, I think, in sports to watch a football game.
It's a good stadium.
The concourse needs some help.
Sure.
The outside needs a paint job. My biggest complaint this year, though, is the new sound system is horrible.
Really?
And this is affecting your job and the music, but we're in premium seats, and you might as well just turn it all off. That's how bad it is.
So do you have in-ear monitors in when you're doing your
No.
No?
I do wear an in-ear, but that's somebody calling shots from up top to me that tell me what I'm supposed to say.
Okay, so you can't necessarily hear yourself acutely like you are with monitors.
You're standing by the speakers.
I'm standing by the speakers, but there's at least a 2-second delay.
Yeah.
So I say hi and I count to 2 and it comes out. So you got to be really focused and just continue on what you're doing.
It's tough.
It makes it hard. But I can hear myself to an extent. It depends on how far north I go.
Yeah.
Because the PA is now hung next to the Jumbotron, or the Stampstron, as they call it.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be historically it was above center field and being hung, and that sound laws say that's going to spread around, but now it's at one end.
Interesting.
Yeah, you got to push a lot of air. There's an engineering challenge there. There's not one that, I mean, we can solve it. You can see them do it for 80,000 seat festivals and music shows. They can push enough sound. I think that there's a couple of things that come into play, whether the community wants that much sound being pushed. And that center speaker, from what I understand, and they didn't consult me, right? I'm just the guy that yells on the microphone.
Fair enough.
There was an engineering challenge. They had to lower it and recertify the engineering of it every single year. And it becomes cost prohibitive, is the way I understood it anyway.
So are they still looking at options to improve the current situation?
I know that they are. They're asking every single day.
Awesome.
And they're actually sending a bunch of feedback out to season ticket holders. I don't know if you've received it or not, about what that experience is like from an audio perspective and the entertainment value.
Yeah.
And I see them really trying to make an earnest effort. I do like that they're trying to do something in the red and white afterwards now, with some live music. So the acts that are playing on the stage pre and halftime are going back underneath, which is nice. And it's all ages, so you can bring everybody down there, have a drink, and listen to a band.
And historically, the Red and White Club was like a prestigious club that you had to belong to, and now it's open to the public after the game, which is a cool thing, because that's I
love that.
A little premium experience.
So the effort is being made, or they're trying, and it's like all things that take some challenges. I think that this year's sound is arguably worse than last year's when they had it split.
It is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This year, though, I think you can see the improvements they're making on all the entertainment side they're doing for it. And I sat through Jay McNeil was doing those reach outs in the off season. Did a locker room breakfast, and they talked about all the things they're planning this year to reverse the number of trends that have been happening. And they're putting effort. There's no doubt.
They've got to reach a different crowd, and I don't know how they reach a demographic that they've historically been able to reach, reach a demographic that historically they've not gone to football games. It has been a predominantly middle-aged white guy sport.
Old white guy.
Yeah. And they got to reach others. They got to reach a young generation. They got to reach out to them and make them football fans, and not just NFL fans. Understand the value of the CFL. The game is great. That's the only reason why I love the CFL.
Yeah, it's tough as a lifelong fan who's always defended the league. It's tough to see empty stadiums in Edmonton, which historically was a powerhouse, empty, and not selling out Saskatchewan, which used to be a guaranteed.
How does that happen last weekend?
Weird.
Right? The only market that's really crushing it seems to be BC is trying hard in their big one, but they're still not there. And Winnipeg. Winnipeg is obviously winning.
Winnipeg's crushing it, but BC's put a lot of money into it, and they've spent a ton of cash bringing in some huge talent to stand up pre and post game and do a bunch of different things and activities in that dome. And
that is an elite experience, and that arena is beautiful. And you go there, and it's like it feels very NFL-esque the way they've had it set up in there. And of course, the new stadiums do help too. But Saskatchewan's proving it's not just a new stadium.
I don't know how you can't sell Mosaic out against the Stamps and the Riders.
And that's the only entertainment in the entire province.
There's something going on there. There's something wrong when we can't sell out those games, because those are fiery, spicy ass games. And I mean, the rivalry speaks for itself, but come on, guys, let's get out to a football game.
One thing I've noticed, and maybe for what it's worth, is ever since the TSN contract came in, it seems like the schedule is based on TV, not the fans. Thursday night, to me, honestly, shouldn't be a CFL night.
You won't get me arguing with that,
right? Yeah. So it's like they're building around the double headers and the TV crowd, but they're forgetting that the fan bases want to watch football on a Saturday afternoon. Those were the best CFL games in Calgary.
Absolutely.
Saturday, 2 p.m.
And we're kind of lucky this year. There's a lot of afternoon games, which is okay.
It's better schedule.
Yeah. We did get that crappy Thursday night game that I don't love.
People were panicking about our home opener stats, and you're going, that is the Thursday night home opener.
Yeah.
When school's still in.
You're setting it up for not failure, but for it to not be as vibrant as it could be.
Now, positive note, our team just beat Saskatchewan.
Yeah, baby.
A last-minute field goal by Paredes, and he's struggled a little bit this year, uncharacteristically.
I've never seen him miss until this year.
I know. But he made it where it counted. He silenced that green crowd. with no seconds left in the clock. That's exciting finish.
He is the GOAT, and he may have missed a couple early on this year, but never count him out.
Yeah. And so that leads us into getting the ball rolling now for this team because they need to put together a few wins. They couldn't have lost that season series early to Saskatchewan because I think that third playoff spot's going to be a tight race with the way Winnipeg is playing and the way BC is going to play as well. But let's talk about this Sunday, 5:00, correct?
5:00. Yeah, 5:00 Sunday. Yeah,
Ottawa
against the
Red
Red Blacks,
the team that stole our colors.
Damn it.
And then named themselves after the colors.
After the colors.
Which, by the way, Renegades was a way better football name. I don't know why we
Agreed.
just go back to that. Or call them the Rough Riders again, just to piss off Saskatchewan.
I think that would be a little confusing.
We
Maybe
had the
a
Rough
little.
Riders
was.
for a long time.
Yeah.
Americans loved making fun of that one. 8 teams in the league, 2 of them called the Rough Riders.
Listen, we're trying up here in Canada, okay? Like,
But anything big happening Sunday that we can chat about?
Not that I'm aware of, other than we have some live entertainment that I don't even know who it is yet. I haven't seen.
oh, you don't know who it is?
No,
Okay.
but we definitely will have pre and halftime entertainment, and then they'll go under to the Red and White Club
Nice.
afterwards. I think it's going to be a good game. I think the Stamps should be able to come out and take this one if they show the same grit and determination that they did out in Regina.
And I just watched the highlight package, same as you, as at Stampede during the game itself. But Mayer looked much more comfortable in that one.
He does, and I think he's starting to catch his stride. I think that the injuries haven't helped. I mean,
Yeah.
they've been plagued across that receivers and other ways across that offense, and we'll see what happens this weekend.
So we're not coaches, we're not GMs, but is Mayer a CFL starting quarterback?
Of course.
Good.
I think
that's
so.
been a big question mark. 17 games in, it wasn't clear yet.
I think he is, and I think Wild Thing backing him up there is great too. I think they're the 1-2 punch. I'm confident in them.
I think they'll get although Ottawa, didn't they just upset Winnipeg last
They
week?
did.
So they're coming in confident, but Calgary's at home. So I predict
we're good.
A Calgary win covering 7. That's my prediction.
7.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm going to win by 10. Sunday night, 5:00. Is that going to be a good
5:00, McMahon
a
Stadium.
good time? Sorry.
Yeah, I think it'd be a great time. The weather's supposed to be nice. I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to it. Love standing on those sidelines. Hope to see a lot of people there.
I'll be there for sure. Bringing the niece and nephew.
Oh, I love that.
Nice.
Maybe I'll try to come out. Who knows?
I
Who
got tickets
knows?
for you if you want.
I have ticks too for you probably if you want one.
Okay, well, we will
You have-
talk
Now there's
after the
no
show.
excuses. You better get your ass
No
out.
excuse. I will. Yeah. Okay. You know what? I will say this confidently, and everybody can hold me to it. I will be there on Sunday.
All right.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll whatever
If
way.
we
that
don't
I
have a
can.
selfie, it didn't happen.
Oh, come on. Okay, fair. That's fair.
What's your favorite? This is like a PA nerd to another PA nerd. What's your favorite part about being the sideline guy for the Stamps?
Honestly, it's the kids.
Yeah.
When I get to bring a 8, 9, 10, 12-year-old down on the field and do the Tim Hortons coffee cup shuffle, or introduce them to a player, or drag them out to the center field for something silly, run against the fastest cow, whatever it might be. When you can make that connection, that's it. That's all I want to do.
Yeah.
If I could just talk to people all day long like that and make their days, that's it.
My
I
other
love that.
favorite thing. I love the world's fastest cow. I'm happy that's still going on. The rabbit.
Oh, the rabbit.
That comes out that I've heard some conspiracies on Twitter that Calgary releases this rabbit every game and then has it like captive and waits for the game to. I'm like, that's stupid.
No.
But this rabbit knows what he's doing.
Oh yeah.
And he will wait, and when he hits the touchdown, he hits the end zone, the crowd goes wild, and he'll flip, and it's this. And I think it's the same rabbit, or at least a long lineage of the same family line.
They were bred just for that. They hide.
Yeah.
But the fact that he knows when he scored a touchdown is insane to me.
I love that. That's so funny.
I haven't seen the rabbit this year, actually.
No?
Hey, maybe
No, not
Sunday.
yet.
I think he came into a practice or something. I saw it on Twitter, but maybe he hasn't made it live. Be saving himself for Labor Day.
Yeah.
The big crowd.
Well, back to your point though, Jay, about the kids and stuff like that. I think so I've always been primarily a music person, but when you said you were talking about like bringing a kid on the field for the first time and seeing their eyes light up and making that connection with people, I remember, so my family, we lived in Kelowna for a very, very brief amount of time, and my dad was helping with the Okanagan Suns team. And I remember, because he played for the Dinos, he won a Vanier Cup. Like, football's always kind of been around, and I can't quite remember if it was a Suns game or no, it was a Stamps game. I remember somehow I was brought onto the field, and there was the cheerleaders there, and they let me hold their to my tiny body at the time, giant pom-poms, and I remember looking up
Aw.
and like being like, wow, like this is the coolest thing. So it's
Right.
like, you're right, like those moments, like it sticks with you.
Even handing somebody one of those mini footballs, right?
I still have mini footballs. Yeah.
And I
Me
got
too.
all those kids run down the sidelines when they see me walking by, all scream my name. They all just want high fives. You hand out a couple mini footballs. When you can make that connection, that's how you're going to build the next generation of fans. And that's all I want to do there.
And it takes time because
It does
kids
take
have
time.
to grow up slowly. But the Stamps are doing a great job with that. Like,
Yeah.
there's the Learn to Play programs for the young kids. But there's also the Little Miss Outrider program. My niece did that last year. And still every game, as soon as those girls start dancing, she runs to the bottom and just watches them intently because
I love that.
feels like she knows them personally.
Yeah.
It was like 300 girls were part of this, and they all got to like do their routine and run off. It was mass chaos. But those kind of programs, like, you can't beat that.
No.
Yeah, I love how we're truly trying to create fans of football, of hockey, of entertainment, of our Calgary community, of the culture in our city, and it's in those little moments. And I just it's so special. And me as a person who I'm like not even usually a fan of children, seeing that it's true. Seeing that, it makes my ice cold heart melt into a puddle. So let's keep doing that.
Her heart grew 3 times that day.
It did. It sure did.
And I've said this, and I'll say it again, that the Stampeders is the best bang for your buck entertainment dollar-wise per
Hands
pound.
down. Hands down.
It's a grade A product. You get 3 or 4 hours in the sun. You get a tailgate experience if you want it. You get a halftime. It's lovely.
Yeah, and that tailgate experience, that's the best in the CFL too.
It is.
And it is unbelievable to see what they're doing out there, and they continue to do it. Those are the diehards. We got to reach the next generation of those tailgaters too. Be interesting to see if you can bring the experience from inside of the stadium out to that tailgater a little bit more.
Yeah.
That's something that I've always pushed on and always thought that they should be doing. But
what I kind of like about the tailgating is that the Stamps have for a certain amount of time been a little bit hands off. So it's like they don't try and enforce too many rules. As long as you're keeping your beer in a paper cup or a plastic cup, there's no issues. But they've really improved. They've added bathrooms out there now.
yeah.
So
nice.
we park next. We used to pee in trees. It was always a thing, and now
you got a
very
full
civilized
toilet now.
But the fact that parking lot's right there, if you're lucky enough to have a parking pass, which we do, it is a cool experience, very American-like in terms of you get there. Well, for Labor Day, I think we're planning for like 9 a.m. and the game's at 5.
Yep.
So that'll be a full day shift.
That's a long haul.
Even that last Saskatchewan game, I had friends that are said, yeah, we'll be there at 1 o'clock in the afternoon for a 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock start.
We always bring live music to the Labor Day one too, and throw a little concert out there.
Nice.
With Mitch
Ballot
is
nice.
a lot of fun. Where was I going to go with that one? It was
well, I was thinking too. I'm like, what if thinking of ways that like the Stamps could be more involved in the tailgating experience? What if we had like a competition for like the coolest decorated truck bed or something, or like like little things like that.
They do that.
Yep.
They come up with cameras and they tailgate at the game. I think maybe they don't have it this year.
They didn't this year, but they did last. Yep.
And so basically,
nice.
they show all the tailgaters, and one lucky one got an award for being the tailgater of the game.
Oh, I love that.
See, sometimes the best ideas are already done. But
what if they had a beer garden out there that McMahon actually ran?
Is that not Gridiron Garden?
Yeah, but that's down in the practice field down there, and that's where
that's the
family venue. And I think
that's
there
fair.
should be a family venue, and they do an awesome job down there. And it's super interactive and super fun. But what if they, I would think that that'd be kind of an interesting thing to do.
Well, and you could get more of the university students kind of riled up, the young guys who kind of like a Nashville North esque feel.
You could do that. You could put a trailer out there and bring a band out there to play. You could do a DJ. I don't care what it is, but include, bring the game to the parking lot.
Yeah, really encourage. I think we should lean into tailgate culture, because that's something that we have, that parking lot we can use.
Yeah.
I need to come dip my toe into that tailgate culture, and then I think it's going to be a full body dive.
Yeah, once you go red and white, you never go back. Yeah, it's addicting. I did have this idea I know we're not going to get a new stadium, but listen, for a while, that's not going to happen. I don't think
for a
ever.
while, yeah.
What if, and this is my big picture thinking here.
Is this a pipe dream?
But every time I'm there, I think it could work. You've been to Arizona, where the field's on a big tray.
I've seen it in and out.
I think we should redesign the Stampede grandstands. That it's redo the infield, have a field on a tray.
Oh my gosh!
Because the Stamps never play here in the Stampede zone, anyways. And you redesign the infield one, or that one grandstand's already 10 times as nicer than McMahon ever will be.
Yeah.
And we just really dig into the Stampede City, and Stampede Ground Park becomes the new home of the Stampeders. If anyone's listening, this is a free idea. I'm just saying.
You're like, I won't even charge you for it.
And anyone I've told this idea to, when we're at the grandstand, goes, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
I have no other logistics planned out. Just that.
The engineering has not been thought through, but that's
well, you don't even. We use fake turf, so you don't even have to worry about the grass part.
Yeah.
No, but you would need some kind of tray to make the platform.
If they can pull out that stage, the young Canadians perform on.
Hook it to a big tractor.
There you go.
Yeah.
Drag it out there.
That'd be very Calgarian of us. And that stadium is not used for anything year round.
No.
Besides the odd monster truck thing.
Which is cool.
And then you're trying to create the arts and culture district through there, the new arena, the BMO Center. Amazing work. 17th Ave's going to go through there. That could be the coolest spot.
It could be very interesting.
Yeah. So anyways, if anyone knows anyone who knows someone, tell them that idea. I'm just saying. If you don't put it out there, it's never going to happen.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Could be totally unfeasible. I don't know.
How are we for time? How are we for time here, Lyle?
I think we did pretty well.
We did pretty well. Jason, thank you for being here.
No, it's been fun. Been a really good time.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Are you back next year for the Stampede?
I'm back next year for the Stampede.
Year 16?
I will make that commitment now. Yep.
That's exciting.
Well, I can't wait.
If they'll have me.
Of course they'll have you. Who wouldn't want to have you up there?
I don't think you're going anywhere. I think that'll be on your call when you say it's over.
One of these days it'll happen, but not for the foreseeable future.
Well, I will shed many a tear when that day comes. Actually, if that day comes, screw it. You're going to do this till the day you die.
Yeah, they'll roll me up there in a wheelchair.
Yeah. With your Budweiser on the mic on a mic stand.
Get somebody to open it for me.
I love that.
How many Budweisers a day are we actually consuming here? You joke like 10,000, but like.
Well,
oh no. North of 30.
Oh geez, how do you survive?
He's a champion.
Well, the Budweiser hydrates you at the same time because it's mostly water.
So that's a couple an hour. I'm there for 15 hours roughly. So
yeah,
you could not do that. It's
no,
like you could be like, I'm sober. That'd be boring.
Well,
yeah, it would be boring.
No one wants that.
Nobody wants that.
Oh my gosh. Well, let's wrap it up there, guys. Jason Tate, thank you.
Thank you
for being here. You are always such a delight, and you're one of my favorite people. Lyle.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, thank you. I'm excited for Sunday.
We'll see you Sunday.
Get that crowd into it.
Yeah. And
go
then
Stamps, go.
Yeah, FlamesNation Citizens. Get to a football game. Get to a CFL game. We got an exciting season coming up. Don't forget about Stampede next year, and we will see you on next week's episode.
Ciao.
Bye.